What up, guys? I'm sorry, man. For some reason, my live just went off for some reason. Um, I don't know what the hell happened. Am I live? I hope I'm live, bro. I've just been talking while I was not live, but like I said, guys, welcome to my live stream. Welcome to KO Sports Hangout, um, where we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears. A lot of updates that's been going on with the Chicago Bears OTAs, and that and Caleb Williams being in the news um, this past week about not being drafted by the Chicago Bears, according to a lot of NFL reports. Him and his father has been trying to write a new book, and one of details that's being reported in his book was the draft process last year and how him and his dad were trying to avoid being drafted by the Chicago Bears last year. And I totally get it. You know, him and his dad his dad reiterated that Chicago is where quarterbacks go to die. And I totally get it of what's been going on. But I don't know if you guys saw, well, it wasn't on my live. What I was basically saying is that there's a reason why teams are drafting you number one, because they are trying to change the outlook out of their franchise. They're trying to change the outlook of their franchise. Past season, the reason like I said, there's a reason why they're drafting you number one, because last season they were the worst team in the NFL, and the whole reason why they're drafting you is because you are going to be the cornerstone. You're going to be one of the reasons why they're going to succeed in the near future. That's why they drafted you, you know. And like I said, I totally get it, you know. Sometimes it's not going to be always that way where you're going to get drafted to a team where you want it, you know. Where you know, I've been reiterating this. You know, him and his dad were trying to kind of veto them being drafted by the Chicago Bears, similar to how Eli Manning did it, him and his dad. Like, they're trying to get advice on how they could shift them being drafted from the Chicago Bears to a different team, you know. And that, of course, I'm pretty sure you guys heard reports of him. Like, if he's not, if they're not granting their wish of him not being drafted by a certain team that they want, that he's going to be a free agent and go to the USFL, which I think is kind of ridiculous. But like I said, shout out to Ryan Poles. Shout out to Ryan Poles, you know, him convincing Caleb Williams and his dad in order to stay with the Chicago Bears, saying that he's going to draft him no matter what. And just saying that, like, hey, you're going to be the one that's going to change the outlook. You're going to change the narrative behind the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears have always known for not developing quarterbacks. Chicago Bears have always known for not having good offenses, not having a 4,000-yard passer. And speaking of 4,000-yard passer, Ben Johnson, he also addressed this whole speculation of the Caleb Williams not joining the Chicago Bears. He said that it has come to my attention that the quarterback has been in the media the last few days. Johnson said, I wasn't there last year, so I can't speak too much about what it was like last year. Last year. Okay. But with the 4 months I've been on the job, Caleb Williams has done an outstanding work. As for the assumption that Chicago is where quarterbacks go to die, Johnson is embracing the challenge of rewriting the narrative, starting with Williams. I love it, Johnson said. I love it. I love the opportunity to come in and change the narrative. That's where great stories are written. He also went on appear on Heard the last couple months ago, and he talked about how Caleb Williams is going to be the first 1,000-yard passer, and that is going to be one of many seasons where he's going to be throwing 4,000 yards. And that's also, like I said, that's really a good thing to hear. You know, a lot of, us Bears fans, you know, it's better for us, you know, like to see it rather than just say it. But based on what Ben Johnson was saying, it sounded like he had a lot of conviction based on what he was saying on the Cowherd Show, because I also watched the Cowherd Show. But a lot of the stuff that Ben Johnson is saying, he's saying with conviction. And, and like also speaking of the whole situation with the Caleb Williams situation with the media, he also like away from it. Like a lot of, what should I say? A lot of past Chicago Bears head coaches, they will tend to shy away from certain subjects, like based on from what the media was talking about. But Ben Johnson, before they even asked him a question, like he already addressed it, he already talked about it, and like that's really refreshing to hear. Like we have a coach that's not afraid to tackle certain issues, man. Like he's not afraid to like he can just he's not afraid to address it right on. Like he just addresses it right on, like head on. And speaking of Ben Johnson, and according to a lot of Chicago Bears OTA updates, what should I say? Oh yeah, Chicago Bears OTA updates. There was this one particular instance in practice, right? According to Pat the Designer, shout out to Pat the Designer, where Cole Kmet, he lined up the wrong way at the line of scrimmage, and Ben Johnson like instantly took notice of this. He blew his whistle and yelled at him. He yelled at Cole Kmet because he lined up the wrong way. He didn't line up the correct way at the line of scrimmage. And like I said, that is very key right there. That is very key because this coaching staff, they look at the little details of certain stuff that past regime did not look at. Now, with Matt Eberflus last year, Matt Eberflus would have let that slide last year. But this year, Ben Johnson and the coaching staff, they are literally on this guy. And Ben Johnson also reiterated, if you watch this press conference, he said this is not going to be an easy training camp. This is going to be tough. This is going to be hard. And you're already seeing the fruits of the labor already. You're already seeing what's going on during training camp. He's not making it easy on these guys. Eric Bieniemy, Antoine Randall, all these guys, they're not making it easy on these guys, and that's also very refreshing to see. Ben Johnson, like he's on it, like he really wants his guys to succeed, because like I said, football is a game of inches. Like if you mess up, if you line up the wrong way, you're going to get a penalty, and that's what's going to happen. And a lot of teams they're going to take advantage of that. And Ben Johnson harping on Cole Kmet on that, that's very, very refreshing to see, because last year the Chicago Bears had problems with false start penalties, lining up at the line of scrimmage, illegal motion, certain stuff like that. And so when Ben Johnson sees that, he's going to get on you about that. When coaching staff sees you, they're going to get on you about that. And like I said, last year, a lot of stuff the coaching staff did, they let that shit roll last year, and it ended up costing them a lot of games last year, because like we can always go to the Hail Mary and like how it literally derailed our season, but literally mainly a lot of guys were not disciplined. The main reason why we went on a 10-game losing streak is because a lot of guys were not lined up the proper way. You had a guard that's not lined up the wrong way. He moved a little bit. He shifted a little bit. Or Cole Kmet, he didn't shift the right way, and it caused a false start. And these are the little details. These are the little intricacies that comes with playing the game of football. And for him to get on that, it's just very refreshing, because this is the mistakes where you have to make right now. Because when it comes to the game, when it comes to game day, when it comes to actual game day, you already be prepared. You'll already be ready, when it comes game day. You got to make these mistakes right now, and you got to just call you out right now. And watch, this is really going to help. These little things is going to help win the Chicago Bears a lot of games. And watch what happens. Other news, Luther Burden, he's been dealing with some quad injuries, so he didn't practice today as well. Karan Amagaji has also been taking a lot of first team reps at left tackle. Braxton Jones, of course, he's been injured as well. And also Case Keenum as well. He's been taking a lot of reps with the second team as well with practice. And also Kyle Monangai, bro. bro. Kyle Monunga has also been running with the first team as well. Him and DeAndre Swift, they've been running a lot, with Caleb Williams as well with the first team. Kyle Monunga has been a pleasant surprise for this team. He's been getting a lot of praises from coaches with a lot of his footwork, his elusiveness and his vision. But, like I said, the pads have not been on yet, so we got to see how they're going to be with the pads on. And then also as well, no, I think that's all. That's all the updates that I have so far. Oh, yeah. Jaquan Brisker has also been running with the first team. He's looked healthy so far. But we definitely got to see how Jaquan Brisker is going to play out, this season. I know he's been dealing with a lot of concussion, and he's been dealing with a lot of injuries, of course, especially to his head. But hopefully he could stay healthy. This is a contract season for him, and it will be very, very, very disappointing, if something really, really bad happens to Jaquan Brisker, because I do like Jaquan Brisker. I want him to stay with the team. This guy, he's the heart and soul of that defense as well, and I want to see him definitely succeed and be a Chicago Bear for a long time. But that's all the updates I have for you guys today. Yeah, and also, guys, before I end this video, a moment of silence for legendary Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay yesterday passed away at the age of 65. They don't know the details of how he passed away, but he suddenly just passed away at the age of 65. But just a moment of silence for Jim Irsay real quick before we end this video. Okay. Thoughts and prayers out to Jim Irsay and his family. I know they're really dealing with it right now, but prayers out to his family and all. But that's all the videos I have for you guys today. Stay tuned for more video updates in regards to Chicago Bears news. I will tomorrow. I'm going to be making a little video, Chicago Cubs video, because Chicago Cubs, they've been doing well, and so they're being put on notice. I will be making a Chicago Cubs video tomorrow. My Cubbies are doing well. 10 games over 500 for the first time since 2023. And they're blowing teams out and taking their names. But that's all the videos I have for you guys today. Stay tuned for more video updates, and I will see you guys later. All right, guys. Peace. Chicago up, Bear down. Peace.
That's why I'm trying to make a better way. Whole new crib in a better place. Get my people out the hood, we'll see better days. Tell a fan sorry, I'll let them wait. Shit up there like a